In order to have a happy and well-functioning shoulder joint, we need both the scapula and the humerus to play their part. This is important not only for what's happening in the shoulder, but can also affect mechanics that can contribute to chronic back and neck tightness and affect the healing of a diastasis. You can improve humeral range of motion, like internal-external rotation, by addressing scapular position and function. But sometimes we need to do direct work on the humerus and rotator cuff to improve shoulder function. So come join me today as we explore one exercise to do just that. The rotator cuff muscles work in isolation to either externally rotate or internally rotate the humerus in the socket. They also help to pull the humeral head down in the socket when reaching overhead. Together, with an equal amount of external and internal pull, they then help create joint centration and keep that humeral head centered in the socket. When we have imbalances in function like stiffness in the posterior cuff muscles or pecs and lats that are overworking for weak internal rotators like your subscapularis, this can affect humeral position, resting tone, and throw off shoulder joint mechanics. Today, we'll explore an exercise that can help not only decrease stiffness in the shoulder joint, but also improve strength to help keep that humeral head in the socket and working well with everything else. So in this exercise, you're gonna grab a 2 to an 8-pound weight and then a yoga block or some pillows to put underneath your elbow. Now with the weight, we wanna make sure that it's not too heavy that you can't do the movement, but also not so light that you're not getting the benefit of the eccentric control. What's gonna happen is we're gonna go backwards into a movement and we need to focus on tissue letting go under load and lengthening versus pulling from the backside to take our arm back, and then the opposite when we go in the other direction. So let's go ahead and dive in. Now, when I go to lay down here and have something underneath my elbow, I'm gonna make sure that it is just under the edge of my elbow and high enough that the angle is helping to drop my humeral head back. If I were to move this higher up, we can see how that's gonna shove my humeral head forward. And if I don't have any elevation and I have some tightness in the front of my shoulder here, then I'm gonna have a humeral head that is forward. So by having just that right amount of elevation, it's going to help drop me back. We're also gonna start in a position with your arm around 45 degrees or so. And then as that range of motion feels good, you can progressively work up higher into 90 degrees. We're just making sure that when we get up into that 90-degree angle, that you're not shrugging your shoulder up to get there. So we're gonna sit here. We can always put something underneath your head if you're feeling any straining in your neck. That elbow is set out to about 45 degrees. And then I'm going to monitor the front of my shoulder. So we can either feel for the front to not shove forwards, or we can feel for the back to not leave the ground. Either way, we're really making sure this humeral head stays centered in the socket, and you're kind of visualizing this melting back and letting go throughout the movement. Now, I'm gonna take my hand and slowly bring it down towards the ground. What this is doing here is doing eccentric lengthening of all of my muscles that do internal rotation. This is gonna include that subscapularis muscle, but also your pec and your lats. So we're getting everything to let go from the front rather than pulling from the back to help let that arm come back. As I'm going back here, I can have a hand on the front of my shoulder and pause to make sure that I'm only going as far as I can, that that humeral head doesn't shove forward. So I'm gonna go to here, pause, visualize letting go and that humeral head sinking back, and then slowly going back a little bit more. Only going through the range that feels comfortable with no stress or strain, and that humeral head doesn't move. We also want to make sure that we're not cranking back at our wrists. We're really making sure that your arm is moving because of that humeral head rotating in the socket. Now, to come out of this position, we really want to make sure that we're using those rotator cuff internal rotator muscles and not your pec and your lats. So what that's going to look like is making sure that as you pull your arm back forwards, that you're not rolling your shoulder forward and that shoulder blade isn't leaving the ground. So you're just going to really focus on that humeral head rotating around as well as sliding back into the socket, pausing as you need to make sure that those mechanics go as desired. Now, from here going forwards, this is now going to switch back to eccentric lengthening, but now it's going to be of the posterior cuff muscles. So as I slowly let that arm come down, again, I'm only going as far forward as I can that my humeral head doesn't lift forwards. So visualizing it melting back into the socket and coming all the way down. I'm not pulling forward with the front side. And then to lift back out of here, I'm going to use those posterior cuff muscles to pull my arm back out, again, making sure that this doesn't jut forwards, okay? So we're going to slowly go back and forth here as much as feels comfortable, and you might notice that as you go back into a range of motion a second time, maybe you can go a little further, but making sure when we come back forwards that we're still going from good mechanics versus everything rolling forwards as we go to do it. So you're going to slowly go back and forth about 5 to 8 times or so. If you're finding that things are getting kind of sticky, you can always kind of focus on one direction and maybe take away the weight and do little pulses back here to see if you can kind of wiggle into that range a little bit more. Maybe doing a little bit of soft tissue release work can be really helpful at first to just kind of help set the stage and decrease that tension and resistance. We're also thinking about, all right, as we're doing this movement, we don't want that shoulder to come forwards and come back. So another helpful area to feel is right underneath this armpit here where I'm poking the front of my shoulder blade with my fingers. As I go back, that can act like a soft tissue release work to that subscap that can be tight but weak. And then as I come forward, I'm visualizing that's the area that I'm trying to pull forward from, at least to get to that neutral before then we go forward. It can be really helpful to feel there as well and monitor that there's no movement in the shoulder blade. The other thing to take note of is watching that as you go to do that movement, that elbow doesn't go down or up. So we're really visualizing that humeral head rotating like a spit in the socket, and that the point of my elbow stays pointed straight in one direction the whole time. I'm not letting it pull down or go up, and I'm not losing contact with the item that my elbow is on. So again, going really slowly and thinking about where that movement is coming from, pausing where you feel a deviation occur, try to let go and relax, and focus on really kind of sucking that humeral head into the socket. In the end, it's not necessarily that you'll feel a lot of muscle burning. You might feel a little bit of work in the armpit, maybe a little bit in the back side of the shoulder, but really more so afterwards. It should feel like everything just feels nice and easy and kind of like can just relax into place. And then your other following exercises feel like they're able to move from a better place and with greater power. If you found this video useful, make sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment below. You can also let us know what other questions you have in the comment section. Lastly, make sure to check out some of the other videos we'll suggest at the end of this video to help you explore more concepts related to this topic. Are you a movement professional who wants to learn more about the human body and movement? Make sure to check out our continuing education offerings in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.